The season finale for Par is here for season 3, and let's not waste any time about it because I want to get in to the talking points this episode. And this one is called In My Best Interest. Greg is wondering where Ruiz is, but of course we know Ruiz is dead. So he arrives at the crime scene, and obviously because he was kind of his informant, but it was off the books, things are not looking good for Greg at this situation in time. But he does manage to get the bug, of course. But know what's mental about this? He goes to play it, but then he gets interrupted and he doesn't play it. And I was thinking at this point, right, imagine if Greg dies without actually getting to hear this tape. But guess what? He does get to hear the tape when he's talking to like a Homeland Security guy who's like, he looks like Avi Schwartzman for Grand Theft Auto 5. If you know, you know. But who really knows what's going on with Greg? Because is Greg going to get to the bottom of this? I really hope he does. Ghost then breaks into Greg's apartment to try and find out some information that he's got against him, and obviously if he finds Angela's clothes there, it pisses him off a lot. But I didn't think this was actually going to bother. This was going to be a big deal later on. Greg then stops Ghost and demands that he the one that turns rap, because guess what? Angela's going to rat on you, man. Angie's going to rat on you. But then Ghost gives him nothing, which Ghost then tells Angel later on in the episode. But the intriguing thing is when he tells Angel later on in the episode, Greg's dead. And just like that, guys, a major character death. So Mike comes over to Greg's house because he wants to tell Mike that Angela is the rat. She is the lake. But then Greg, during this conversation, gets a phone call and it's revealed that the tip-off was never even made, and he discovers that about Mike. And obviously Greg, being like, you know, the 110% legitimate cop that he is, he calls out Mike on his shit here. He calls him out and like he wants to bring him in. Even though Mike was like, here, no, I had no choice. I had my family grew. It's like we always got a choice. Like Jax Teller season 5 sort of line there, right? But see, for me, he shouldn't have called him out. He shouldn't have at this point let the cat out the bag, so to speak, that he knew that he was the leak. He shouldn't have come out and said that, but he did. And once he did that, I thought it was so obvious that Mike was going to kill him. Like, at the end of the day, there was no reason for Mike to let Greg live here. Even under the illusion of here, I know I'm dirty, but Angela must be the real leak. Like, Mike does say that. Was Mike seriously going to leave the apartment knowing that Greg knew that he's the leak? I'm not convinced, to be honest. I'm pretty sure as soon as Mike realised that Greg knew, at this point, I'm pretty sure it was game over for Greg. And sadly, guys, Greg tells him to put the gun down. Mike does initially listen. He does put the gun down. But then, sadly, after a while, Greg tries to get the gun off him, and then Mike shoots him in like the neck region. Greg is bleeding out. He puts his other hand up. He shoots him in the hand, and I think the pain just makes him pass out. And then he falls to the floor and dies of blood loss. And during all this, Mike dumps the burner phone in Greg's cupboard drawer. So yeah, he's not only has he killed Greg, he's pitting Greg as the leak, which I guess it covers his tracks, but did he really need to job Greg out this much? Honestly, he's completely jobbed him out. I think it was obvious they were going to kill Greg this episode because it was very, up to his death, it was very Greg heavy. And I think it's probably the wrong mistake to kill him. And it's a problem for the show. I feel like really the main intriguing points of this season have actually been like the police and the FBI sort of things. And for me, that's completely and utterly took out now. And Angela discovers Greg's body and can't believe it, alongside Sax and the rest of the crew. Meanwhile, though, Kanan tests Tariq, gets him arrested, and then with his cop girlfriend, so to speak, and Tariq didn't give up Kanan, which is impressive. And then they go back to the apartment and they're all getting drunk. Tariq, Kanan, and the rest of them, they're piling a 15-year-old boy with drink. Lovely. Milan's number 2 is confronted by Tommy, so yeah, Ghost and Tommy here are moving their plan forward. All the Ghost and Tommy Milan stuff this episode felt shit to me, right? Essentially what it is, Trey brings a lot of his old crew in, they take Milan's crew at gunpoint, and then Tommy and Ghost have Milan at gunpoint backstage at the club, and then they shoot him in the head, and that's Milan dealt with. I'm like, what? That just seemed very lackluster to me, to be brutally honest. It really, really did, but here, that's it done. That's it done. Whatever way you want to dispute it. Angela then you know, gets Ghost's fingerprints and puts it on Greg's door. Or does she put it on Greg's door? Of course she does, damn it. Angela puts his fingerprints on the door and then boom. Or does he? Does she? So what? Did she get Ghost's fingerprints off the door? Or did she put his fingerprints on the door? I'm not, it doesn't really matter because it's still got the same end game here with ending up Ghost getting arrested. But I just feel like the whole Milan arc just ended rather abruptly, man. And also the FBI, the leak case is closed. Greg's getting all the blame, which I really hope it just doesn't end this way for him. Angela then comes into the club, very reminiscent of the first episode, to be honest, and she puts Ghost under arrest. Meanwhile, Kanan takes a picture with him and Tariq and his arm around him. You can't see Kanan's face, but you can clearly see the burns here, and they send it to Tasha. So Tasha sees that Tariq is with Kanan, and I tell you what, I mean, it sets up season 4 because you've got Ghost looking like he's going to jail, even though he'll probably be after like an episode or something, right? And then you've got what is Tasha going to enlist the help of Tommy to go after Kanan and get Tariq back? I'm not too sure, man. I'm really not too sure how that's going to go down, but I've just got a feeling Kanan's going to get jobbed out. But I don't know, guys. It was a weird finale. Like a few deaths in there, like Milan and Greg, and I mean, it's built up season 4 nicely, but I feel like there was a lot more they could have done wrapping up this season. I mean, it was still a decent episode. I'll still give it a 7 out of 10. And that means par out of the first 3 seasons, out of 28 episodes this show has produced, the average rating that we have gave it here on Fog Entertainment is a 6.5. And I would say that's about right. The show's good, but it's not great for me. There's far too many, cop-out scenes for me where it's just like copy, paste, repeat sort of things. Like Ghost and Tommy. Like, how many times are we going to play on their relationship, man? It's been done a million times, but that's where we're leaving it, guys. It's 7 out of 10 for Par. Make sure you stay tuned. Season 4 will be around the corner relatively soon, but until next time, peace.